I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, April the 11th, where we have several fundraisers going into the Nebraska Cattlemen's Relief Fund. There's been a few rollover type sales in some of the sale barns up there, some of the surrounding areas. But I'm going to tell you about a couple of more here. If you want to donate some money and we can make it a tax deductible type thing and really do some good and get to the place where it needs to go to really help. I think now we're getting long enough along where there's hay available for those that really need it and don't have too much pride to come and get it. But there's several of these fundraisers going around for this Nebraska Cattlemen's Relief Fund. Here at DV Auction is my employer, and we're a live auction broadcaster, do about 1,200 production sales a year and about 70 weekly sale barns on top of this national beef wire and the Cattle Market Central and feeder flash and everything we do. But DV Auction is a Nebraska home-based company, and it has been for a long time, and they support to the cattle industry, the agriculture in Nebraska, and have donated their auction process to several items that have been put together for a timed online sale that is good until April 22nd at 7 p.m. You can go on to dvauction.com, and it's in bright yellow banner up there. You can't miss it if you go to the home page, and it'll say Relief Fund, Nebraska Relief Fund on it. You click on that, and there's several items in there I would think which anybody could find something they'd be interested in. There's some cattle equipment on there. There's some embryos on there. There's some gift certificates for different type of things that anybody could use for fuel, equipment, just about anything. But it would be a good deal if you guys could go on there and place a bid on there. Like I said, it's a timed online auction through DV Auction, and I know most all of you have participated in something like that. We do a lot of those on cattle also. Another place you can go for Nebraska Cattlemen's Relief Fund is at Alma Livestock Auction in Alma, Nebraska, one of the small communities that got hit probably as bad as anywhere. But at the sale next Tuesday, you can also view and bid on that at dvauction.com during the sale next Tuesday. The Angus replacement heifer is going to be for sale on there, a rollover type sale. That Angus replacement quality heifer is donated by Cout Brothers, and they were hit bad in the flood waters too, and they were really struggling to get through it. But they're heavily involved in that cooperative owned sale barn there, and were nice enough to donate that heifer. And during the sale there, I think at 1 p.m. You might check on that. They are going to auction that heifer off, and it'll be a rollover type sale, and you can get on dvauction.com during that sale and bid on that heifer and make your donation right there. So we're hoping to raise quite a bit of money, because I tell you what, there is definitely some people out there that have run out of straws to grab, and they just need as much help as they can get. Like I said in a couple of past visits, some of those people are too proud to take it, but also some of them are getting to the point where they just don't have any other options. So if you can help out with that, we would certainly appreciate it. Let's look at the board on Wednesday. April live cattle futures down just 2 cents at 125.87, so that's close to 126. Did have 37 deliveries tendered against that contract there late in the day, so we'll find out how much that brings that basis back here whenever it opens up on Thursday morning. But of course, they were Southern Plains deliverers to Syracuse, Kansas, and Tulia, Texas sale barns, and trying to straighten out that basis a little bit. And also, when the market's 124, you know, that's close to $2 better, and their expenses should be far less than that. June live cattle futures down 40 cents at 119.95. Your April feeder cattle down 97 cents at 145.17, and May down 95 at 149.22. Fat cattle did have some trade on Wednesday, mostly in the southern plains. Over 12,000 confirmed in Kansas and about 2,500 in Texas. That's about all Texas sells negotiated anymore, but all at 124, and that would be a steady market. There was a little bit of trade, but the bulk of the sales have not traded in the northern plains. But Iowa did sell some cattle, about 1,400 head, ranged from 127 to 128 and 204 dressed, and those prices would be mostly steady also. Nebraska had about 800 head at 204, so right in there about steady too. Box beef cutout values were higher on Wednesday. Your slaughter's getting along good so far this week. Through Wednesday, 360,000 head harvested. That is 4,000 more than a week ago and 2,000 more than the same week a year ago. Look at your feeder cattle markets, your real-time index on Cattle Market Central late in the day on Wednesday, sitting at 143.09, up another $1.52 on Wednesday. So good sales there, and we're getting that index level up there pretty decent. Oklahoma, OKC West in El Reno, Oklahoma, 7,600 head. They sold their yearling feeders on Wednesday. Feeder cattle were called steady, mostly steady there. And feeder heifers also close to steady. Steer calves $3 to $6 higher on Tuesday. Heifer calves were $2 to $3 higher. Look at this one individual quote out of El Reno, and I tell you what, very impressive. Impressive string of cattle, but some green stalker type cattle coming from the Kings. 248 head. They were sold in two deals, but that's how they were sold. That's how we picked them up on Cattle Market Central there. But 248 head weighed 682 pounds at $163. They had a couple other big drafts on there, sold really well too. Winter Livestock, Dodge City, Kansas, 4,700 head there, and they had a good sale. Feeder steers $2 to $5 higher, and spots more than that, up to $8 higher on some of those green stalker type two-way cattle that we've been talking about, where you got feedlots and growers or grazers bidding on them at the same time. Feeder heifers were steady to $3 higher. Not as much activity on the calves and not as many of them, but calves kind of steady to $1 lower. But did have one load of really impressive sales there. 57 head of 783 pound steers in Dodge City bring 156. But our top quote comes outside the region and on the wrong side of the mountain. Western Slope Cattlemen's Livestock in Loma, Colorado sold 55 head of 822 pound steers for $151. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.